Hey everyone, John Oliver here, ready to talk about something thrilling, the 2024 budget. Okay, maybe thrilling is a stretch, but this stuff matters. It's like a giant financial plan for the entire country. Think of it as your family budget, but instead of arguing over takeout, we're talking about trillions of dollars and the future of our nation. Why should you care? Because this budget impacts everything from the roads you drive on to the schools your kids attend. It determines how much money the government collects in taxes and how it spends those hard-earned dollars. Whether you're a policy wonk or just trying to make ends meet, understanding the budget is crucial. It's about holding our leaders accountable and making sure they're investing in the things that matter most to us. So, buckle up as we dive into the nitty-gritty of the 2024 budget and see what's in store for the year ahead. Let's start with the basics. A national budget is essentially a document that outlines the government's expected revenue, money coming in, and expenditure, money going out for the upcoming year. It's like a giant spreadsheet, except instead of tracking your grocery bills, it's tracking things like national defense, healthcare, and education. Where does all this money come from? The majority of government revenue comes from taxes, income tax, corporate tax, sales tax, you name it. It's the price we pay for living in a civilized society, hopefully. On the flip side, government expenditure covers a wide range of areas, including social programs, defense spending, infrastructure projects, and paying government employees. Think of it as the government's to-do list, but with a hefty price tag attached to each item. The difference between revenue and expenditure is either a budget surplus, yay, more money, or a budget deficit, uh-oh, more debt. Managing this delicate balance is crucial for economic stability and the overall well-being of the nation. So, what's the 2024 budget looking like? Well, it's a mixed bag. The government is projecting a modest increase in revenue thanks to a growing economy and some adjustments to tax policies. However, spending is also projected to rise, driven by factors like an aging population and increased investment in certain sectors. The bottom line? The budget deficit is expected to widen slightly in 2024. This isn't necessarily a cause for panic, but it does mean that the national debt, the total amount of money the government owes, will continue to grow. Now, I know what you're thinking. Debt? That sounds bad. And you're not wrong. A large national debt can have negative consequences for the economy in the long run. But it's a complex issue, and there's no easy solution. The key takeaway here is that the 2024 budget reflects a balancing act between investing in essential programs and services while trying to keep the nation's finances in check. Section 4. Healthcare, Education, Infrastructure. Where's the money going? Okay, let's get into the specifics. The 2024 budget allocates funding for a wide range of sectors, but three areas stand out: healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Healthcare continues to be a major expenditure item, as the cost of healthcare services and an aging population put a strain on the system. The 2024 budget includes funding for initiatives aimed at making healthcare more affordable and accessible, but it remains a contentious issue. Education is another key priority, as investing in our children's future is crucial for long-term economic growth. The budget allocates funding for schools, universities, and vocational training programs. But critics argue that more needs to be done to address issues like teacher shortages and rising tuition costs. Infrastructure is the backbone of a strong economy, and the 2024 budget includes funding for roads, bridges, airports, and other critical projects. This investment is essential for creating jobs, improving transportation, and supporting economic growth. While these are just a few highlights, it's clear that the 2024 budget reflects a commitment to investing in key areas that impact the lives of all citizens. Section 5. What does it mean for you? Taxes, services, and jobs. So, how does all of this impact you, the average citizen? Well, for starters, the 2024 budget includes some minor tax changes. Some people might see a small decrease in their income taxes, while others might see a slight increase. The details are still being debated, but it's safe to say that the impact on most individual taxpayers will be minimal. In terms of public services, the 2024 budget aims to maintain existing programs while making modest improvements in certain areas. This means that you can expect to see continued funding for things like healthcare, education, and social security, but don't expect any major overhauls or expansions. The budget's focus on infrastructure spending is good news for job creation. Construction projects require a lot of workers, so if you're in the construction industry or a related field, you might see more job opportunities in the coming year. Overall, the 2024 budget's impact on the average citizen is likely to be subtle. Don't expect any major changes to your daily life, but keep an eye out for how these budget decisions play out in your community. Section 6. Not everyone's happy. Budget critics speak out. Of course, no budget is without its critics, and the 2024 budget is no exception. Some argue that it doesn't go far enough in addressing critical issues like income inequality and climate change. Others criticize the level of spending, arguing that it's unsustainable and will lead to even greater debt in the future. Some groups are unhappy with the allocation of funds, arguing that their particular sector or cause deserves more attention. For example, some healthcare advocates argue that the budget doesn't do enough to address the rising cost of prescription drugs. Others criticize the level of defense spending, arguing that it's excessive and that the money could be better spent elsewhere. It's important to remember that the budget is a product of compromise and negotiation. Not everyone gets what they want, and there are always trade-offs to be made. The key is to find a balance that reflects the priorities of the nation as a whole. Section 7. Your wallet, your voice. Stay informed and engaged. So there you have it, a crash course on the 2024 budget. It's a complex document, but hopefully, you now have a better understanding of what it is, why it matters, and how it might impact you. The budget isn't just a bunch of numbers on a page. It's a reflection of our values and priorities as a nation. It determines how we invest in our future and what kind of society we want to create. That's why it's so important to stay informed and engaged in the budget process. Read up on the details, contact your elected officials, and make your voice heard. After all, it's your money, and you have a right to have a say in how it's spent. Thanks for listening, folks. Now go forth and budget responsibly.